Hi, I'm Dan Whittaker. Today we're going to take a look at the 120 yard and in wedge game. How well do you control your distances from those yardages? This is a question I ask to all of the players that I work with. Today we're going to see if you've got a system and a plan for your game, and I'm going to show you the plan I put in place for all of the people I work with. Now, I'm very often asked, how are we actually able to achieve this? So we want to create a chart for your game which will incorporate swing positions. But before we get stuck into that, we need to figure out what swing lengths you can hit consistently. So I have two different players as an example, both at the top level, both +3 handicappers, and one has 3 swing positions and one has 4. Now, they've both got a great wedge game. This is all down to their individual feel and what they like. I personally like 4. Okay, so the first position would be hands to hip high. The second position would be left arm parallel to the ground. The third position would be hands to shoulder height. And the fourth position would be a full backswing. So what I want people to do is video yourself when you're hitting the first position, whether you might think hip high is a bit short, because that's one of the things I hear off people. They find that guys who tend to get a slightly longer backswing will tend to find that it's quite difficult to hit that first position because their reference point in terms of time and space isn't necessarily adequate enough to be able to hit that first position. So they feel that they're very short and rushed when they're in here. Okay, whereas somebody with quite a shortish golf swing like myself or a Zach Johnson type would find it quite easy to hit that position. Okay, so the first position for the 3 position guys would be left arm parallel to the ground. The second one would be shoulder height with the hands. Third one would be top of the backswing. What we want to do is we want to make sure when we're doing this that the arms and body are matched, both back and through. So if I only hit the first position right here, where hands are hit high on the way through, I want the hands to come through just a little bit longer than they did on the backswing, but to be matching me. So when I'm talking about matching, I'm talking at the end of the follow through here, I want the centre of the hands in line with my sternum. And at hip high here, I want to still see the hands in line with my sternum. So hitting these positions is absolutely vital. Okay, once you've got those positions and you can hit them, the biggest thing is learning how to pace the arms and the body together. We're going to get stuck into this in a minute with having a look at the 3D and explain how this varies slightly from the full power swing. But what we'll do now is just going to bring this chart in on the side of the screen so we can see right here with the chart. I've got a player there, he's got 4 wedges, 4 positions, and that's giving him 14 swing lengths. You can see at the bottom there in the 60 degree, doesn't like to hit a full shot with that. The reason for that is when he's got so much loft on the face with the 60, obviously the ball's going to come off very, very, very high. Now, if I threw the ball to a friend of mine next to me and we pass that ball across, we don't want to be throwing it high because it's very difficult to judge that distance. So that's why 4 shots with a 60 that are going very, very high, quite difficult to judge. You're bringing wind into it, you're bringing all of the elements, plus the increase in loft. Obviously the ball can start to ride up the face a little bit more, you can trap it a little bit less, you can just get a lot of variables in there that we could go into in greater detail another time. You'll also notice there on the screen that this particular player does not like hip high with a wedge. The reason for that, club's a little bit straighter, actually less loft on the face, finds it difficult to think about how he's going to play a controlled soft shot with that club. So that's quite a difficult thing for him, so that's very individual. So what we would be looking at is that taking that chart out the way, we're now saying that we want you to hit those 4 positions or 3 positions for you. And we'll have a look now how on the 3D we can control the pacing of the body, what that actually looks like, and I'll give you a drill that will enable you to control that for your game. So we can see here we're having a look at the power swing sequence. So at the bottom here is the time of the golf swing, and this red line here is actually showing where the transition top of the backswing is starting, and the next red line along is where impact is. So below 0 here for the line is when the hips are moving in the backswing, and when it starts to go into positive means that they are starting to move towards the target. So we can see here in a full swing sequence that the pelvis starts before the backswing is finished, and it then causes the rib cage, which is the green line, and then the left arm, and lastly the club to come through. So this will be a power swing move where we're really trying to get that lower body to move through almost as quickly as we possibly can. So we're just going to now bring in the kinematic sequence on the shorter shot, and once again we can still see that the hips move first. The only time the hips do not move first is on a flop shot or a very, very soft shot where you are trying to add a lot of loft, which will then see that the arms will move first, followed very, very quickly by the rib cage, and lastly would be the hips. But on nearly all of the shots, particularly pitch shots, the hips are definitely moving first. So we can see here the red line, top of the backswings, the hips start, but then the club is not moving quicker than the rib cage as it was on the full swing. So everything is moving through together. So the arm is being pulled through with the body. So that means it's paced at that moment by the movement of the pivot of the body. Everything is matching. Whereas if we tend to see that blue line go above the green here, that means that the arm is accelerating off the body, creating extra speed. The guys who hit it the furthest some of the time struggle with their pitching because they don't always match the movements of the arms, the body and the pivot in this time frame for the pitch shot. So we can see here this is very, very nicely done because they're all matching, and this will be very good for being able to control the distance. So the drill is a really, really simple drill. It's something I'm a big fan of. Okay, so what you do, you start off with the club in just your left hand alone. You extend your right hand so your little finger is touching the inside of your left elbow and your thumb is touching your sternum. Okay, so then what you're then going to do is you're going to turn back and keep the distance between the hand exactly the same. We're not wanting to make it wider. We're not wanting to pull the arm across, which narrows the hand. We're making it so that the arms and the body and the club are all matching. Then on the way through, what we are aiming to try and do is keep that distance the same, so that this gives us a great way of being able to match the body, the arm and the club to one another all of the time within. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm based over here at Highley Park in Cheshire. Please subscribe to all my social media links below. All my contact details are on my website. I look forward to talking with you again very soon. Thanks for watching.